Evening, everybody, and welcome back. Sammy here at Sammy J Stitches. It is Friday, January 11th, 2019. Um, this is just going to be a quick little update video. Next week I'll get back to regular scheduled videos. This one's going to be a lot of talking, a little bit of haul, a very little bit of stitching. So if that's not really your thing, check back next week. Where we will get back to the craziness of me having like 50,000 whips in a week. But right now, I know I got a bunch of new subscribers in the last couple weeks, so if you're new here, welcome. Thank you for subscribing. I hope you enjoy your stay. For those of you that have been following me, you know that we had vacation the first 2 weeks of January, the first 10 days really. We went to London, England. So it was super fun. I enjoyed myself. The trip was not exactly what I was expecting because there was 6 of us, so there was a lot of me having to coordinate for a lot of people. So it's not like, if just a couple people went to visit. So I had to make some adjustments to my expectations, but we still really enjoyed ourselves. But I'm really glad to be home. I'm tired. I did get sick well, we will get to that. But right now I am sick. It's just allergies, so you may hear me sniffling some. I'm hoping to not sneeze, and I may sound sorry. My lips are also chapped, so I mess with them a lot, and they don't. My nose right here is chapped. Anyway, let's get started. So first of all, I had a new year, new start. I started Pretty Little London by Satsuma Street, and I did this because I was going to London as a kind of a remembrance piece, and it is the only thing I worked on while, like, on the flight there, a little bit while I was there, a little bit on the way home. So, one second. This is the third time I've tried to start this video. Every time I try and start, people start messaging me. So, give me 1 second here. Or texting me. My daughter had a UIL competition today. They just made it home, and she's so exhausted because we just got back last night, and then she had to be there really early today. So she's like, I'm going to bed. It's 7:30. I'm going to bed. Okay, so January 1st, we drove to Houston. My parents live in Houston. My brother-in-law lives in Houston. And it's cheaper to fly out of Houston. So I stayed with my parents. My in-laws stayed with their son. We all had a big barbecue, and we got together and enjoyed the evening. And then the next morning, we went to the airport. Our first flight was 2 hours and 40 minutes-ish, and we landed in Detroit. We actually landed there earlier than expected, so our layover was a little bit longer, but that worked out because, we needed to eat and that sort of thing. So then we got on a plane in Detroit to head to London, and when we got on the plane, it had just undergone some maintenance while it was sitting there, and so they were waiting on to fill out the paperwork, say everything was done. Then they had to de-ice the plane because it was cold, excuse me, in Detroit. And while they were de-icing something else, another notification came up and said something else needed to be fixed. So then we got stuck almost 3 hours sitting in the plane on the tarmac. But the okay thing about that is the big planes for international traveling, they have built-in TVs behind, in front of you, so on the back of the person in front of you's seat. And they had so many really good movies, like new release movies that I hadn't seen yet. So I was like, oh, I want to watch that and that and that. And despite the fact that it's a 7-hour flight, I knew I needed to sleep for some of it. So I watched almost an entire movie before we took off. And it also had games so the kids could play. It had like a flight tracker. That was a lot of cool. That was really cool. So like when we decided to go to sleep, we turned the flight tracker on. So whenever we would wake up, you could see the time where you left, the time where you were going, because it was a 5-hour difference, and you could see like where the plane was and things like that. It was really neat. So got to London 3 hours later than we were supposed to. One of our bags was ripped to shreds. We had to get a new bag. Luckily, we didn't lose anything out of the bag. It was just torn all up. The clothes were dirty. The top layer of clothes were dirty, but it wasn't a major thing. They gave us a new suitcase, and we went on about our business. Hit the ground running. Let's see. I'm trying to remember. My sinuses itch. First day. So my original plan was to do the hop-on, hop-off bus tour the first day and just kind of hit the places we wanted to see from it, including the London Eye. But by the time we got off the plane 3 hours late, got to our hotel, dropped off our stuff, got transported into where we would catch a bus, we were going to have missed half a day of that hop-on, hop-off bus tour, and we wanted to get our money's worth. So we decided not to do that. We went and saw the London Eye. We rode it. And then we went to, where else? I'm trying to remember, because it was kind of a crazy, the week went by so incredibly fast that I feel like I don't even remember half of what we did. Oh, we ended up at the London Tombs. We did those. That was excellent. So much fun. Because it's kind of like a haunted house, but also you go through these rooms and they tell you historical things about the London Bridge. And so you learn a lot, plus you have a little bit of fun, getting scared and things like that. It was great. I feel like I'm missing something else in between there. I'm not quite sure. I'm doing the best I can. And if you're interested in pictures, instead of putting them all on this video, they're on my Instagram. I'll link the Instagram below in case you don't already follow me and haven't already seen. I didn't do as good at taking videos and pictures as I thought I was going to. Like I said, had it been just me and my husband, or me, my husband, and our kids, I probably would have done more of that. But I also had my in-laws there, and I was, excuse me, having to coordinate for 6 people. And so it just became a little too hectic. So then we got back to the hotel that night, went to bed, woke up at 3 in the morning, sick as a dog. I caught a stomach bug, and I was violently ill for a good portion of that day. So by the time we landed in London, it was the 3rd. So this would be the 4th. And I told everybody, I was like, y'all go have fun without me. If I start to feel better later, I'll figure out where y'all are at and we'll catch up. And they're like, we're all kind of pretty tired too. So everybody went back to bed and we slept until like 2 in the afternoon. Then we got up and we went to see the Tower Bridge. And we did the tour, so you got to learn all about the bridge. And when you walked across the bridge, it had a glass floor. And I am petrified of heights. Like, I conquer this fear all the time because I love roller coasters. I love doing some of those things that cause an adrenaline rush, but heights truly scare me. So I was a little nervous, but I did really well. I didn't even, honestly, I was so comfortable. I didn't really panic at all. I did get a little woozy when I tried to walk and look down, but I managed okay. So, you walk across the bridge and then you go down and then you see like the engine rooms. At that point, I was starting to not feel well again. You know, I was putting a lot of strain on a body that had had a really rough morning. So we went back to the hotel and we decided to order pizza delivered to our room because there was a Pizza Hut right down the street. I fell asleep and didn't even wake up for dinner. Like, I didn't wake up till the next morning. I did eventually try the pizza. It's a lot different than here. Uh, so then the next day, we got up early. We went to see the changing of the guard because I had looked it up and it was going to be, they were going to have a changing of the guard on Saturday and on Monday. And we decided to go ahead and do it on Saturday morning. We got there super early so that we didn't have to fight the crowds with the kids so that they could get up close to see it. And then it was cold, super cold. There's no, I shouldn't even be surprised that I'm sick with all the cold that was there. And the wind just straight through your bones. So, we stood there for 2.5 hours, in the cold with the kids all bundled up in a huddle at our feet until it was supposed to start. And then 3 minutes after it was supposed to start, one of the like police guards, not the, I don't even know what they're called, but the official guards, one of the police that were there came out and pulled out the sign that said they weren't going to have a changing of the guard that day. So that was a bummer. We did not get to see a changing of the guard while we were there. At least not at Buckingham Palace. We did see a small one at Tower of London. So we went from there. We went to see Windsor Castle. Did a tour there. And that was pretty much day 3. You know, there was tons of things we wanted to see and do, and it really just not enough hours in the day, especially if you go in January. You should be aware that daylight is like this long. The sun comes up after 8 o'clock in the morning. Most things don't get started till between 8 and 9. But by 4, it's dark. Like, dark. And, yeah, there's some things that continue to go on, but really, once the sun goes down, you kind of, I don't know. We tended to shut down. By the time the sun went down, we're like, okay, we're done with whatever we're doing for today. Back to the hotel. So Sunday we did Stonehenge, the city of Bath, and Stratford-upon-Avon. And Monday we did the Tower of London and St. Paul's Cathedral. And then we did the hop-on, hop-off bus tour the last day and then flew back. I do have to say, like, I was not super impressed with food there. Like, we had a hard time finding things we liked, or really, the food that you're used to here, if I would get the same thing over there, it tasted completely different, including soda. Oh my goodness, I was so glad to get home and have a Coke, because I think they must use a different sugar or something. It tastes a lot different over there. And so, I did find a few of the English dishes I really liked. I was super impressed with Ryan because he liked everything he tried. He especially loved fish and chips. Ordered it almost every day that he was there. Absolutely loved it. Loved all the fresh. I mean, the fruit there is really fresh every morning. Fresh squeezed juices, things like that. So, anyways, I don't really know what else to say about it other than we really enjoyed ourselves, and even the kids did excellent. They not only did they handle all the walking and the crazy schedules and the lack of like a sleep routine, because even then they would we would all fall asleep as soon as we got back to the hotel at like 6, 7 o'clock at night, and then be up at 3 in the morning with nothing to do for hours. They would take little naps every time we got on the tube or a bus or something that kind of lulled them to sleep. But they did an amazing job. They had an amazing attitude. They worked well together. They enjoyed each other's company, which I felt like they really needed, because we were starting to get to a place at home where my kids wanted to kill each other all the time, and I'm like, you're siblings, you love each other. But so I was a little concerned with being in this situation that they would start to really tire of each other, bicker and fight. And I mean, they did a little bit, siblings do, but they did an amazing job, and they really enjoyed it. They paid attention. They loved it. So, and I felt like they learned a lot from it. My son wishes he could stay. My daughter was glad to come home. So, there's that. Yeah. So, I did pick up, so my, excuse me, my plan to kind of commemorate the trip was each of the places that I went, not all of them, obviously, but some of the places that I went to, I picked up a pin, like, that you would pin to your shirt, that I'm going to make into needle minders to remind me of my trip. So, this one was, I think, Windsor Castle? No, this is, the Tower of London. So, got me a little Tower of London. And I got me a little Stonehenge. I thought that was too cute. And, oh, okay, so when we did the tour of Stonehenge, Bath, and Stratford, when we were at Stratford, I found a Harry Potter store, because we went to platform 9 3/4, but there was a line forever long, and we were all tired, because I think we did that one also the first day. So we didn't want to stand around in the line. I got a picture of the kids at the sign that says we were there, but not actually at the little cart. But anyway, so when we were in Stratford, I found a Harry Potter store. I got the little time turner thing. I thought it was so cute. But I ran out of time. I didn't get to go to one of the stores that was about Stratford to get a memorabilia piece. So that kind of sucked, but at the same time, I don't feel bad, because I think this is so cute. This one, it's already a magnet. I don't think I'll turn it into a needle minder, because it's just so big. It may just be a magnet that I have on my, refrigerator at home. St. Paul's Cathedral. Inside St. Paul's, you can walk up to this top. Let's see. Okay, so you see this little ridge line here. You can walk up to there and go outside on this ridge line and look around, but then you can continue up to up here. We walked all the way up there, and for my fear of heights, and you walk out and you're literally like pressed up against the rail. I did really well. I'm very proud of myself, because it was petrifying. I was terrified. And my husband has a couple pictures of me where I'm like standing up against the rail to get a picture, even though I was terrified. It's 254 stairs to the top, 254 stairs back down. And we're talking like, they start out for being not very steep to being super steep, and the walls were literally like this. I was like, they were this, and you're ducked down, because they were apparently really short back then. So that was quite the experience. Quite the experience. I also got myself a keychain from Windsor Castle. Skeleton key. Excuse me. Because at the motel we were at, we actually used a skeleton key to get into our room, to lock it and unlock it. Like, legit skeleton key. I have a picture. I thought it was just the coolest thing ever. I'm gonna go ahead and show that real quick. I'm not gonna do a lot of editing here, so we're just gonna show it. What the heck just happened? Okay. So this was the key to our room. How cool is that? It's the little things, man. So that was all of that. Okay, so that's really my London. If you have any questions, want to know any more, I'm not doing a good job explaining because I'm sick and a mess, but you get the general idea. I went to London. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and show you my stitching real quick. Here's where I got to. I got quite a bit of stitching done while I was there, or on the plane mostly. I'm doing an event in Semi-Sane Stitchers. It's called Letter of Fortune. It's kind of like Wheel of Fortune and Hangman. You have to pay for each letter. You're trying to guess a phrase of some sort. I didn't really get a clue as to what my phrase should consist of, but anyway, I've bought a few letters using this, so that's where I got to. It's gonna go away for a little while. Oh, so it took me a little while. Obviously, this is the London Eye, and this is the Tower Bridge. Sorry about that. I'm telling you, my phone, just because I'm recording. Okay, so I knew this was the London Eye, this was the Tower Bridge. This is View from the Shard. And I wasn't sure about this thing, and the whole time I'm in London, excuse me, I'm trying to find this. And I finally found it, and it's called The Gherkin. So, and I don't think I've uploaded those yet, but I do have a picture of each of the pieces from this, and there's still a few, there's still more. I'm not done with this yet, but I took a picture of each element from this to possibly put with it. We also got some of the currency to kind of, I'm thinking about making like a shadow box and having that in it, and the currency, and a picture of the four of us in together there. It was really hard for me to, I had people take pictures of me, but after being sick the second day, I'm not very good at being sick. So when I don't even have a nice way to put this. So I vomit with a lot of force. And when I do, I bust the blood vessels in my face. So in my pictures, my face looks puffy, super red. It's literally blood all over my face. So it kind of bummed me out a little bit because I was like, man, now all these pictures, I don't look like me. I mean, I'm starting to look pretty close to normal now. But, it is what it is. So, again, all of that stuff's on Instagram, and I'm probably going to be adding more here shortly. Moving on. Okay. Last two things. One is I have started getting subscriptions in the mail. I signed up for several this year, because I've never had that ability before, so I wanted to do it. And so I'll be getting a little bit more haul each month, and you have seen previously. Most of it will be just be subscriptions, because I am trying to keep myself to the $25 a month Stitch from Stash budget, because I'm going to be trying to buy as minimally as possible and saving what I would normally spend, and then rewarding myself whenever I get a bingo on WhipGo. So, or would it be a WhipGo? On WhipGo instead of bingo. I don't know, you know. So, my first one came in. I haven't even opened it, y'all. I was going to open it with y'all. So, I'm going to do that. And also, I got a gift card or not a gift card, but some money from my parents for Christmas. I was ordered to buy Stitchy stuff with it. So that's the other haul that I have that I will show you here in a minute. Trying to get this open. You know, I appreciate that this glue works so well because it doesn't come open in the mail, but dang, when I get it, it's hard to open. So this is from Nancy at Victoria Motto. I signed up for 5 skeins, I think. I can't even remember now. It was a while ago. Let's see what this says. I'm in the limited edition Floss Club. So let's see what we got. Ooh. I'm liking that orange. And then guess what it's called? Orange. No. It's called Wicked Orange. I didn't see the Wicked at first. Oh, wow. So we've got Wicked Orange, which would be $9.46 DMC. Cheerful Seaside, which is $7.99. Haunted Green does not have a DMC conversion. That is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. So, I'm in the magical school of Stitches and Literature. I think that's what it's called. I screw it up every time. And I'm in the Slytherin house. Now, on Pottermore, I tested as Gryffindor. I test as Gryffindor every time because I've tried it a few different times. But I volunteered to be Slytherin because they didn't have, you know, they don't have as many people wanting in Slytherin as the other houses. But also because my husband is Slytherin. So I was like, I'll just represent for him. And, so God, isn't that a Slytherin green? Just, I don't think I've ever said I love a green so much as I love this green right now. So anyway, yeah. I have to find something to do with that. Okay, moving on. Dainty Cornflower, DMC 160. He's just gonna have to wait a second. Rustic Road. It's like a 3371 blend. And Mint Green. I'll be right back. Back again. Okay, so those were my Victoria mottos. I'm really excited. Okay, so I haven't done floss like this yet. I'm just excited. So, like I said, my parents gave me, I didn't bring it with me, some money, said it's for my favorite Stitchy store, but we were driving back from Houston, driving home yesterday, and there's an LNS in Comfort, Texas, that I had never been to. I had heard several times. I've heard about it a lot. At first I heard that it was mostly just primitives, because it's not like, cross stitch is not its main thing, right? It's mostly knitting and the canvas needlework, things like that. But they have cross stitching stuff. I'm telling, this is what I've heard, right? And but they had mostly primitive. So that's what I heard the first time, and then I heard no, they have stuff, right? So we were we were driving home, and I told my husband once we got to San Antonio, I said, you know, I'm hungry. I hope you're hungry because I'm hungry. He says, I'm not hungry, but we can stop and eat. So I was going to stop in Kerrville. And just before we got to Comfort, Lexi was like, I really have to use the restroom. So I was like, okay, well, there's McDonald's right there. I didn't even realize we were in Comfort yet. I said, there's McDonald's right there. We can eat. We can go to the bathroom. No big deal. So we pull over, and I realized we're in Comfort. I had heard about the Tinsmith's wife. So I looked. It was 1.5 miles from where we were at. I was like, and about an hour before it closed. So I told my husband, he's like, yes, sure, not a problem. So I went, and I spent my Christmas money. So I know I wasn't supposed to buy the Q-Snaps because they're on the Whip Go wheel, but I really do need them because mine are about to break. So, and who couldn't use more once I get a Whip Go, right? So, no big deal. Got those. Then, they gave me free pens. And so, FYI, if you ever happen to go to the Tinsmith's wife in Comfort, Texas, open drawers, open cabinets. You're allowed, and there's stuff in there. Because I started to check out, and she started telling me, because all I could find was, I found a very limited supply of fabric, and she told me that I needed to open drawers and cabinets and find what I was looking for. But that's okay. So I went with what I got. And first, I need to pick up some specialty flosses for some projects. So we've got Father's Day from Weeks Dye Works. We got Harvest Basket from Gast. Or Gentle Arts. Gast. Old Blue Paint. Old Red Paint. There's some Old Blue and Old Red. Some Bordeaux. And Lexi decided that this one was so pretty, I needed a second one. And Lucky. And Meredith's Pink. They didn't have 2 of the colors I needed, so there's still 2 more I'm going to have to order. But I got most. But that's almost everything else. So, and then I got some fabric. This is 30 count Weeks Dye Works linen because I didn't find the Joba linen until she told me. And I had already bought this. Look at this red. Isn't that red just absolutely gorgeous? It's so red. I love bright red, but then I was like, what do you really stitch on bright red? Just wait and see, because this has a plan, and I'm excited. And then this is, oh, and it's called Liberty. So, bright red, Liberty. And then Concord. I love dark purple. I love purple. Nice, even, dark. It's flipping gorgeous. It's so pretty. So, those both have a plan, I'm pretty sure. Sinuses are itching again. I don't know. I gotta go through all that, but I wanted to show y'all all first before I started messing in there. Again, I need to pull out my Heaven and Earth design and put some stitches in it. Because I am doing the Full Coverage Fanatics 90 Days of Haid. So technically, this first 90 days, I cheated a little bit. But it's not really cheating, right? Because this is all about you, right? When it was the 100 Days of Haid, I could understand because there was prizes and drawings and stuff like that. But Full Coverage Fanatics, it's more about just you doing you, right? So, There was no way I was taking a heaven and earth design to London, as busy as we were, as exhausted as we were, trying to make sure it got taken care of through all the moving. No. So what I did was, the 31st, before midnight, I would stitch a strand, because my self-imposed rule is a minimum of 5 stitches on it a day, and work on it every day. So for those 10 days, I gave myself a little leeway, but I pre-stitched. So I stitched so many, I said that's day January 1st. I stitched so many, that's January 2nd. I only am allowing myself to do that because of the special circumstance of being out of the country. From now on, I plan on working on it every day, conditioning myself to doing that. So I need to pull that out and work on it. And then pull out a whip and work on it. Oh, my brain. I also need to do some organizing, now that things are officially going, plus put that stuff up. So, it's Friday. The first part of my week is shot because I wasn't in the country. Now, I need to get into my routine, but at the same time, it's hard when it's Friday and all I have is Friday and Saturday. So starting Sunday, I will have something of a good idea of how this is all going to work. I'm going to fly by the seat of my pants for the next 2 days, and then after that, we're going to have a plan. So next week, you will know more about that, but right now, I don't have that. Because, okay, let me just kind of throw this out there real quick. Before I let you go, I promise I'm not going to ramble too much longer. My original plan was Year of Whips wheel until I've worked on every Year of Whip project in the month. Okay, so Year of Whips wheel until everything has been worked on, and then wow, I'm so scattered. And then it would be alternating between my everything else wheel and my Whip Go wheels. And I was either going to do like 5 days and 5 days, or like alternate each day. Again, no firm plans yet because, yeah. And so, plus, I haven't even set up my Year of Whips yet. I have them picked out, but I haven't, trying not to sneeze, but I haven't officially put them on Soulful Stitching yet, and it doesn't even officially start until the 18th. So there's a little bit of that. Plus, School of Magical Stitches and Harry Potterness, and literature. They have a lot more challenges now than they originally did, and I need to figure out how I'm going to do that as well. If I'm going to have to pick projects, or if I'm going to just let the wheel go, and then if it fits, it fits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I haven't quite figured all that out yet, because a lot of that started happening while I wasn't here. So I have a lot to get figured out, but it's going to be so much fun when I do. So I'm going to get stuff put up, get to doing some stitching, bring my chaotic life. I mean, it's still going to be chaotic for a little bit because Ryan's, my only 2 days off next week, Ryan has doctor's appointments. And then the next week, maybe we could start finding some semblance of normal. But when it comes to stitching, I'm trying to normalize by the next time you see me. So here's to that. I hope y'all have a great stitching week. Happy stitching. See you soon.